Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us here today. I'm your host, Leah Masten for Top Industry Professionals, TIP International Radio Podcast, where we're here showcasing prestigious top professionals from all industries all over the globe to share their experience and stories of success. My amazing co-host is here with me, and we're so honored to have her as a host of the show. Originally from Namibia, she was crowned Miss Universe. Please welcome Michelle McLean. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, Leah. So lovely to be back. Hi, Victoria. And we are just getting ready. We've got 3 weeks to go before our gala event. It's so exciting. And I know all our viewers and audience is excited to be with us today because we have a very special guest. All the way from Wisconsin, who has dedicated over 3 decades of her career as a physician practicing women's health, family medicine, preventative health, and wellness for men and women. She is also a successful author and educator who encourages her patients to lead a healthy lifestyle. She uses traditional and integrative ways to improve her patients' treatment plans. Medical Director of Wisconsin Stem Cell LLC and President Founder of Victoria J. Mondloch, MD, SC. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Victoria Mondloch.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So great to have you, Victoria. So, you've dedicated your career in healthcare and educating both men and women, and you've demonstrated success in all positions that you've ever held. Tell our listeners about your journey and what got you into the field. Was this always something you wanted to do?
No, it wasn't. Believe it or not, it was medicine by accident, if you believe that. Back in the day when I was going to college, I didn't think women really went to medical school. They went to nursing school, and I wasn't going to be a nurse. I wanted to be making the decisions. And so I thought, well, I'll just do something else. I'll do translations and I'll work for the UN and I will be able to impact the world, because I knew I wanted to do big things. And when one of my teachers said to me, well, you're going into medicine, aren't you? I said, no. And he said, well, I see you as a doctor. And when I told my dad that story, he just sat back in his chair and he crossed his arms and he goes, well, why not? And I thought, why not? So the rest basically is history.
So one would imagine you have had so many wonderful experiences, but also many challenging experiences, right? And especially after COVID, during COVID, what are the great challenges that you've faced there? And what advice would you give to anybody who wants to join your career, whether by chance or whether they really want to be a doctor?
Yeah.
Well, COVID, I'm a very non-traditionalist, even though everyone says, listen to the science. What the science said to me was a different message than what the science was that our leaders around the world told people. So I kept a maskless office. I kept a no vaccines needed office for my patients and my staff. And we had no patient get COVID from our office, obtain it from our office. We had nobody who actually had any hospitalization, even if they caught COVID elsewhere, because of the wellness approach that I did to keep people out of the hospital and not getting a severe case of COVID. We were able to keep them much healthier. So what advice would I give people going into the field? Honestly, and you're going to think this is crazy. Doesn't everybody do this? But listen to your patient. What a concept. Do you know how many doctors are in a room for 30 seconds and they've already come to the conclusion of what your diagnosis is and you haven't even finished telling your story? That's not right. And so if you step back and listen, you will find that you may be going down the wrong pathway if you jump in too quickly. And that's really, I think, been my biggest success, is listening to patients.
Victoria, you can just, by how you're talking, you can just feel how passionate you are about the way in which you care about patients. And I know that you have a lot of information that you want to share with them. And one of the ways you've done that is through your books. You're a published author, you've written many books. Can you tell our listeners about your books and some of the information that you want them to know?
Oh, thank you for that. Yes, I have written 2 of the 4 books that I intend to write. And the reason I decided to write books is there are so many people you can only reach one-on-one in your office. There's only so many people you can reach through a radio show or a YouTube channel. There are so many other people out there that cannot really be reached. So how do you get to them? And if I want to get the message out to patients, I need to get it to patients. Their doctors aren't listening. So I need the patients who are looking for someone to listen to them. So the first book that I wrote, Blossoming, was for the forgotten female, which is actually the adolescent. What do we do with our adolescent daughters? We tell them, you're being a drama queen. Oh, go to your room, or something along that line. And we dismiss our own adolescents, our own daughters. And so instead of partnering with our daughter and helping them find the answers to their questions, we dismiss them, send them to their room where they consult Dr. Google. And Dr. Google tells them sometimes things you'd rather they not know about, or things that are not taking them down the right pathway. So moms miss the golden opportunity to advocate for their daughter, because many times what the moms are going through are similar crazy hormone swings that their adolescent daughters are going through. So why not recognize that? And how would you recognize it unless somebody like me tells you, hey, here's where you are, here's where your daughter is. Do you realize you guys are doing the same thing? And allow that to be something that brings the mother-daughter relationship back together, and let the mom advocate for the adolescent. What a concept, right? The second book, Full Bloom, is all about the perimenopause, menopause, and beyond woman. The other forgotten woman, the woman that's been told, well, your ship has sailed, you've made it through, you've crossed over into menopause, so good luck with the rest of your life. And you're sitting there going, but I feel horrible. I have hot flashes and sweats, and my bladder wants to leak when I stand up. And I have PMS worse than ever. And oh my God, I bloat. I feel like I'm pregnant, 2 bites, and I have to open up my waistband, and I'm losing my hair, and I'm growing a beard, and oh my God. And they go, you'll get over it. What? There's something disconnected there when, again, we aren't being heard as women, and our doctor isn't listening to us. So those are the 2 forgotten women that I first wrote my books for. But then I realized that 20 to 40-year-old have issues that all medicine wants to do is operate on. Oh, I can take you to the operating room and clear that fibroid out of your uterus. Well, wait a minute. I don't want surgery. I want to start working on my family. Oh, well, we have in vitro fertilization for that. Wait a minute. So there's too much emphasis, I think, on the surgical approach to the 20 to 40-year-old female. There's meds being thrown at these women when they don't want medication. And so that book needs to be written, as well as the male book. What a lot of guys don't realize is that their hormone levels may be so stressed that in their 30s or 40s, their testosterone levels may be those of a 90-year-old. And they don't even know it. So there's almost every facet of person out there that really, truly just needs to know that there is a better way to do all of this. And they don't have to just you'll get over it, or take a pill for that, or there's knowledge, and knowledge is power. So if I can empower women and men to do what's best for them, wow, isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
Oh, most definitely. Dr. Mondloch, you have just expressed to us exactly what is happening in society today. And you give gifts with your book and your books, because it's not only how we get treated in our adolescence, but that carries over to when we become older women. And I'm in my definitely my menopause stage. And I have reactions to how I was treated as a younger girl going through all my changes, and a resistance to it. And so but like you were saying as well, I come from a family of, my father's a chiropractor. So I grew up with alternative medicine my whole life. And I was taught to trust my body. And I think we've lost that in society today. I don't know if you agree with that we've lost trust in the way we can regenerate our bodies.
Exactly. And I'm so glad you mentioned regeneration, because that's another facet of medicine that I incorporate into my traditional and alternative practice, is regenerative medicine. Why should we put a knee replacement or a hip replacement in a body when that's not what your hip or knee really want? They simply want less friction, or they want better balance in the cartilage. So putting in the proteins of stem cells is a tremendous way of balancing that cartilage back out. Or a long COVID patient who can't get her lungs to open back up. I opened somebody's lungs up with intravenous proteins of stem cells. And her pulmonary doc just looked at her and said, "Oh, well, that's nice." But she had collapsed her left lung. There was no airflow, and all it needed was to break up the fibrin and some proteins to rebuild and regenerate that left lung. And we got breath sounds back on her left side in 2 weeks. There are some phenomenal things the body can do if you allow it to do its own work and regenerate itself like it knows how to do. We just have to listen.
That's
100%.
Yeah.
I could sit here all day and hear your wisdom, because we do need to remind ourselves how powerful our bodies are, and how powerful we are as human beings. And talking about power, you've had an illustrious career, and you've won numerous awards and honors and featured in magazines. And this year, very excitingly, you'll be honored at IAOTP's annual awards gala dinner in 3 weeks' time at the Bellagio Hotel for your selection as top expert of the year in women's health, a lifetime achievement award, and the Empowered Woman Award. And you'll be featured on the famous Planet Hollywood billboard on the Las Vegas Strip. Now, who can say that in your career? Congratulations. It's so impressive and well-deserving. So, what would you say with all these accolades? What would you say has been the highlight of your career?
Wow. Well, I feel like I have had 2 careers. I started my medical career doing the traditional OB/GYN. And, I was the top delivering doc for my entire hospital system out of 20 obstetricians and 30 family practice docs. And I loved it. I was just you couldn't pull me away from that lifestyle. I was just, I loved what I did. And I was really good at how I delivered, because I used techniques that were more midwifery, and they were techniques that were more natural, and it brought a doula into the picture, and it incorporated the dad as part of helping. And I had every doctor and every nurse and if there was an opening in my practice, it was boom, filled, because the waiting list was so long. And then I had the second part of my career when I thought, wait a minute, women want wellness, and they want to be out of the doctor's office, and they want to be off of any medication, and they want to be the best they can be. So how do I take everything that I've learned from my patients, everything I've learned from medical school, and how do I put that together into being less of the medical model and more of the wellness model? And that is what I'm most proud of, is the second half of my career, where I actually get people off of medication, and I get them out of their shell, out of their mindset of, the doctor said I need to do. No, you don't. And we're going to prevent cancer. We're not going to cure and cut out cancer. We're going to prevent it. And we're going to prevent endometriosis. We're going to prevent all of these issues that medicine waits to do surgery on, but then it's too late. You've missed your golden window of opportunity to let a woman be themselves, be natural, be healthy. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, wow, I hope I get to go to the doctor's office today and be told I need surgery. No woman wants that. They want to take care of their family and do well at their job and enjoy their spouse and just be the best they can be. They don't want somebody telling them they need surgery and medicine and whatever. So that's what I'm proudest of, is that I was able to recognize that traditional medicine has its place. Of course it has its place, but why don't we go back and respect what the body knows how to do best? A, regenerate itself. B, be preventive and allow the body to be the best that it can be without letting illness take over. What a concept.
I was looking on your website, and it looks like diet is a big part of that whole approach.
Huge, because not only should it be balanced, but we need to know that different foods in our environment have been treated with pesticides. And some of those pesticides have been incorporated into the actual seed of that, especially wheat, that we can no longer get it out. So that's why so many people have a wheat intolerance or a gluten intolerance, which if you have a gluten intolerance, you're a shoo-in for a dairy intolerance, which nobody ever tells you that. So if instead you think, oh, I'll do the greatest new fad out there, which is intermittent fasting or keto, what you need to know is that what's best for your body? Are you best balanced if you do something that your body isn't meant to handle? Intermittent fasting is going to train your body to become diabetic. And most people are never told that. Yet I can prove that over and over again. An intermittent fast pattern versus they go onto a balanced, no more than 12 hours overnight fast, they drop their insulin, they drop their hemoglobin A1C, and they drop their blood sugar. And they have more energy. And they go, who knew? It's common sense. Medicine doesn't tell you, your body doesn't tell you to go 18 hours without food. No, that's man's invention to try to artificially kick a few pounds off your belly. Wait a minute. No, you're causing other issues and you might not even realize it. So yeah, diet is huge, huge, huge.
Yeah. Gosh, Michelle, I don't know if you're feeling the same way as I am, but I'd really like her to be my doctor about now.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like, you live too far away.
Well, see, I have an answer for that. Is most of my patients, yes, are in the office, but I have a concierge telehealth part
Yes.
of my
Okay.
office as
I
well.
love it.
So imagine if I meet you this way on a Zoom call and I say to you, I want to do your hormone levels. I want to do your thyroid. I want to. I have a program, even though I'm out of your network, that I can have you use a national lab, get a 90% discount on the cost of those labs, even if I'm out of network. You only pay 10%, even if you walk into your lab in your hometown to get drawn. Then we meet this way, and it's as if I'm meeting you in my office because I have patients across the US that I've never met, yet I take care of them. So
Well,
it's
you're
Well,
going to
that's
have,
incredible news, because I just went for a blood test and I didn't realize how expensive it was, almost $1,000
yep.
to have a couple of tests done. And I'm out of the network.
yeah,
And
never has to be that way.
blown away.
Never has to be that way. What we have done is recognized that the insurance company and the lab are all talking to each other, and it's all about who's making how much money. So what if we cut that middleman out? And what if we, as the doctors, say, we are going to do X volume of these blood tests. Therefore, I want your best price. Sharpen your pencil, give me your best price. So a 90% discount. Wow, you would have only paid $100 for
Jeez.
those labs.
Crazy.
It
Well, after
is.
people hear this, you're going to have quite the waiting list.
Most definitely.
So Victoria, tell us, you obviously love what you do for work, but what else do you do outside of work as far as hobbies? What do you like to do for fun?
Well, we're sailors and scuba divers at our house.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
Very
So,
nice.
yes, my husband and I met over scuba diving. We were involved in doing maritime historical research on the side while we were going to college. And we've been extremely active in sailing, and our kids were so active in sailing and racing that our oldest daughter actually got into the Naval Academy on her sailing. She was recruited, even though she's now an aeronautical and aerospace engineer. She was recruited for her sailing. So we do anything outdoors. If it's associated with water, we're we're there.
Love it.
And where do you actually do that? I'm new to the United States, so where in your town, county can you do that?
Well, we had a lake cottage not 35 minutes from our home that in the summer we would live at the cottage, and that's where sailing school was. So my mission was that the girls would get up in the morning, live in their swimsuit all day, and then go to bed in their suit if they wanted. I didn't care, but they could actually, we would live at the lake for the summer. Wisconsin is the shape of a hand. So this is Green Bay here, where the football team is from. I'm from down here. Illinois is down here, but this is Lake Michigan, which is 600 miles long, and it goes into the Green Bay, which is actually 80 miles long and 40 miles across. So we have a lot of water around us. And in fact, with the maritime historical research we did, what most people don't know is that the shoreline of Lake Michigan on Wisconsin's side is the most treacherous water in the world and has the highest concentration of shipwrecks in the world. And you'd say, why? Because it's 90 miles across to Michigan over here. But when you get a storm and the waves come across and they reverberate back and forth, the distance between a wave crest and a wave crest gets shorter, and it can pick up a boat and crack it.
Oh my gosh, that is such interesting information, because I don't know if you know, but Namibia, where I'm from in Africa, we have shipwrecks all along our coastline, and we're known as the Skeleton Coast. So that's really interesting information.
Yes, yes. So that's something that's been a love of ours forever. And so it's and we have another cottage that we share in our family up at the tip of this thumb. So we have access to both Lake Michigan and to the Green Bay for not only scuba diving, but for salmon fishing, you know, getting 30 and 40-pound salmon just right out your back door. So
You're in the perfect location for your passions.
yeah, yeah, we are.
Perfect. So what else would you like to accomplish in the future? Like what's next
Well,
for
you
you?
know, that's a really interesting question. This is going to sound totally heady, but this is my mission, is to change the face of medicine.
Mm.
And I will. And I will. Because I feel very strongly that our 4 hormone groups are the foundation of our health, whether we're female or whether we're male. And if we can truly understand what our foundation of our health is, then we may not need medicine or surgery. That's where I start with people. And so if I can get every woman to understand what her estradiol progesterone levels are, and I can get every male to understand what their testosterone levels are, medicine doesn't pay any attention to that. Yet that's our lifeblood, is our sex hormones. But nobody talks about it because that's taboo. Well, no, we have to know that, because that balances our thyroid and our adrenal and our blood sugar insulin. And without that, it's like sitting on a chair with a broken leg. Boom, you land on the floor and you don't know how you got there. So you dutifully rewrite the chair, and unless you know where your female or male hormones are, boom, you fall back on the floor. So if my mission alone could be, guys, know your testosterone levels, women, know your estradiol progesterone levels. And if you don't know what it means in context with where you are, call me and let me help, or get a hold of my books, because I teach you, the patient. The books are written for the patient. They're not written for the docs. The docs think they know it all, and they don't even go there. So know your levels. And if I can accomplish even that, wow, where we can go with that information.
You're so inspiring.
Very inspiring indeed. And in fact, I've got my first, your first appointment in Las Vegas when we get there for the gala.
Yeah.
I booked you.
I'll take the second slot you have available.
Oh, you're too kind.
Oh, it's been so lovely chatting to you, Victoria. And we wish you all the best, and congratulations on all your awards. Now, how can everybody who is not going to be at the gala get hold of you? What is the best way to get hold of you? What website, email address?
Well, the best website is, and so if people have a pen and paper, that might be the best, but it's rhm.care, CARE /VJ Mondloch, MONDLOCH, MD. And that has my radio shows that I do locally. It has my radio shows that I do nationally. It has the links to my YouTube on there. It has all of the other recordings and video that I've done with NBC out of New York. And so it is a link to the books, and although the books are also on Amazon, but it's a link to all of the different social media that I want to have people have available to them, as well as it's a link on there to get a free consult, free 30 minutes to say whatever you want to say, and there's no obligation whatsoever. What could be better?
Okay, wait, Leah, I'm first. I'm just quickly
Yeah.
getting my laptop.
Elbow. Oh gosh,
Well,
wonderful.
lovely conversation. Wonderful
Yeah.
to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, Victoria. We'll see you at the gala soon.
See you there.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.